And welcome to Hannity. And breaking tonight, former FBI Director James Comey facing potential perjury charges over allegations that he lied to Congress. Now, Fox News is told that a grand jury is meeting to consider an indictment. Now, there are also tonight multiple reports that New York Attorney General, Get Trump, that would be Attorney General Tish James, well, she may be in trouble for mortgage fraud. We will have all the details coming up tonight straight ahead. Also tonight, part-time governor, full-time Tweety Bird, full-time podcaster, Gavin Newsom, my friend. Just can't get my name out of his mouth. Keep it out of his mouth anyway. I got a friendly message for him coming up in my response. I know Tweety Bird is watching. Stay tuned for that. But first tonight, an urgent warning for America. This is serious. The dehumanizing, demonizing, overblown, hyperbolic, never-ending, obsessive-compulsive, 24/7 deranged condemnation of President Trump, his administration, ICE, and law enforcement agents, conservatives in general, needs to stop. Needs to stop now. Look at where we are at this moment as a country. Well, apparently it's not there. All right, 2 weeks, but we'll show you something in a minute. Now, 2 weeks removed from the assassination of Charlie Kirk, America woke up to yet another act of targeted political violence. A 29-year-old man opened fire at an ICE facility in Dallas this morning in what the Department of Homeland Security is now calling an attack on ICE law enforcement. The FBI Director, Kash Patel, shared images on social media of literally unspent ammunition with the words anti-ICE written on it. And as of now, this seems very deliberate. Luckily, no ICE agents were killed or injured in the attack. Sadly, one ICE detainee was killed. 2 others were seriously wounded. And remember, this all comes amid a massive spike in threats against ICE agents. Pay close attention.
You know, I've never seen anything like this in my law enforcement career. I've never seen threats on law enforcement, specifically ICE, increase the way it is. You know, we're up over 1,000% assaults on officers right now. And really just a lot of the talk that's out there, a lot of the rhetoric is just the violence directed towards law enforcement officers just trying to do their job. And we just keeping seeing it increase step by step.
This is old, painful. It is sad. It is tragic. It's also preventable. We are now officially trapped in a sick, twisted, evil assassination culture. But how do we get here? Now, first, to be clear, unlike the left, they would openly blame conservatives if some lunatic, were to shoot a conservative. They tried to say, blame Bernie Sanders. I said, no, I don't blame Bernie Sanders for what happened on that ball field way back in the day. On this show, we will be specific. You can never blame anyone but the person that actually pulls the trigger for any act of political violence or any other type of violence. Now, but we can no longer deny that the insane, never-ending, dehumanizing rhetoric from the left is so out of control, as President Trump himself wrote on Truth Social earlier today. Radical left Democrats, they are now constantly demonizing law enforcement, calling for ICE to be demolished, comparing ICE officers to Nazis. You can add calling them Gestapo and brown shirts, and we'll show you that in a minute, and worse. Now, Trump, in the same message, called on Democrats to stop this unhinged rhetoric against ICE and law enforcement right away. And he's right. It needs to stop. This is what we hear. Racist, fascist, Nazi, Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini. Never stops. It's every day. It needs to stop. This is what it sounds like.
Donald Trump's modern-day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets.
As somebody who understands history, when I see ICE, I see slave patrols.
The dangers that we saw in Nazi Germany are the dangers that we need to react to now.
And these ICE agents running around our communities like masked bank robbers, terrorizing women.
Masked ICE agents, no badge, no identification, grabbing people off the streets.
Masked secret ICE agents are snatching and arresting immigrants.
Women who are selling fruit on a corner are people who are trying to survive day to day as day laborers. Are car washes. People are beginning to complain now because car washes aren't open. Why would you prey on a car wash? Unless you're preying on that car wash because you know those are very vulnerable workers.
And another $30 billion to hire and train ICE agents who have functionally become a secret federal police force with expanding domains.
Are coming and kidnapping and disappearing people on the streets of the United States.
We have ICE federal agents pulling up, terrorizing our communities, hopping out of unmarked vans, stealing and, yes, kidnapping people.
An authoritarian government in Washington, D.C. is dispatching masked agents to abduct immigrants from our streets. That is not justice. It is cruelty, and it is criminal.
$175 billion in the bill that was just signed to reinforce the ranks of ICE, Homeland Security, for what is increasingly becoming self-evident to anyone with eyes wide open and any level of objectivity, a private army for Donald Trump.
Private army? We'll respond to Gavin in a minute. Now, Secretary Noem, she has to now live in military housing for her safety. Our border czar, Tom Homan, he has a full-time security detail because of the rhetoric of radical Democrats around the country. He says he doesn't live with his family because he doesn't want them to face the same threats that he is facing. He took a public service job. He is enforcing the law. ICE agents are enforcing the law. And now, in the case of Tom Homan, it's costing him access to his own family. It's not a joke. Shots have been fired. People have been killed. It's not the 1930s. We don't live in Nazi Germany. This is not fascism. This is not Stalin. This is not an authoritarian country with a dictator in charge. This is the United States of America. Our country can be and should be and hopefully will be better than this. Our elected officials should be better. The legacy media mob is just as bad, and they have been complicit, and they use the same rhetoric, the same language. These talking heads on the left, radical Democrats, get a grip on reality. You know, the daily refrain, as I said, racist, Nazi, fascist, Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini, wash, rinse, repeat. You know, you do it every day, it's having an effect. Cumulatively, if you look at what's happening here, is when deranged people hear this day in and day out, hour in, hour out, every second, every minute, every hour of every day, that this garbage in and out, and Republicans are horrible people, and you can't trust the police, you can't trust ICE, you can't trust conservatives, they're all Nazis, fascists, Gestapo, brown shirts. People who are not well to begin with, they are hearing every word you are saying. It is having a dehumanizing impact and effect. And is it really that far-fetched to ask if people on the edge already, at this point, actually might start to believe that they're doing good by getting rid of Nazis with acts of violence, and maybe even believing, oh, I'm helping God's will on earth, because they have been indoctrinated to believe the people they target are actual Nazis because they hear it every day, a refrain that they're hearing from supposedly respected public figures. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.